Hey guys, and welcome back. Somebody left a comment about the laundry on the back of my chair. It's not laundry. It's actually it's this might be my thumbnail. I don't know. It's my pizza taco cat blanket, which rocks. Or maybe that'll there we go. Maybe that'll be my thumbnail. Anyway, yeah, it's not laundry, guys. I'm a little bit more organized than that for a bachelor. Uh, so so today I want to talk about the day I went to rehab. Now I've been to three rehabs, two state rehabs and one private rehab that was run by a hospital, and that was Canton Potsdam, and that's the last rehab that I went to. And I'll make a video about why I chose that rehab and why I waited to make sure I could get into that one. I'll make a separate video about that, but they are amazing. Um, what I want to talk about is, and I think I misspoke once about my sober date. My sober date is January 18th, 2022. So January 18th of this year. So November 18th. So in 6 days, I'll have 10 days or 10 months of sobriety. So just to be clear about that. Um, and this is the longest I've been sober in 7 years. So I'm pretty excited about that. Um, but I want to talk about January 18th of this year and what happened that day and why I decided to go to rehab that day. And I had made the decision that I needed to go to detox and rehab long before that, but I had kept drinking. I got news in November of 2021 after a CT scan that I had an extensively fatty liver. And so that went into my decision, but that didn't stop me from drinking. Even though the person that called me to tell me about it was just like, you need to get into outpatient right now. I'm like, I am an outpatient. Um, I've been an outpatient. And that just really, I think, outlines like these are not linear decisions. Like you can know that you need to stop doing something and still keep doing it, even though it's hurting you. That's just how human behavior works. It doesn't, as much as our families would like it to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to stop drinking today. It just doesn't work like that. And and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like I had made the decision that I needed to go to rehab and detox months before I actually went. And just what happened that day, I woke up angry and I knew I needed to get help that day. And I didn't care how I got it. And I called my counselor angry. And I basically told her, listen, I've been trying to get into detox and rehab for the past 2 weeks, and I've gotten nothing. And I just feel like nobody gives a fuck. And that's what I said. And I don't remember saying that, but she told me that's what I said. And I just hung up the phone, and they proceeded to jump through a lot of hoops to get me to where I needed to go. Um, I didn't initially end up land where I was supposed to. They have volunteer transportation up here. So if you can't, I mean, obviously I couldn't drive. I was probably pushing like a point two BAC. That was my average. That was my normal like operating blood alcohol was a point two just to get me through the day. And that was a pretty constant thing. But by the time I left, by the time I got to the hospital, my blood alcohol was a 0.42. And they were like, you should be in a coma. And I'm like, well, I've been doing this a while. Um, but I initially went to Messina for detox. Now, Messina, if you don't know New York very well, is near the Canadian border. It's actually on the Canadian border. And so that is about a 2.5 hour trip from my house up to there. And so these volunteers actually like take time out of their day to drive. And the guy's name was Ben. Drive my drunk ass all the way up to Messina and then drive back home. And by this point, it's like 8:30 at night. I was pissed off. I'd thrown my sneakers into a snowbank outside the hospital. And so all I had was flip flops for the rest of my time. And, whatever. And, but anyway, I landed where I needed to be, even though I was extremely angry and extremely drunk. And, but what I want you guys to really take away from this video, though, is that these are not necessarily linear decisions. You can make the decision that you need to get help months before you actually get help. The thing is that you're thinking about it, and that's what really matters. As long as you're still thinking about it and still contemplating getting help, that's all that matters, man. And whenever you take that step is when you take that step. It's when you're ready. It's when you make that decision. So keep fighting the fight, guys. All right. Talk to you later, guys.